kind, benevolent ruler decided that he had had enough of the evil being around. And he's like, nothing can exist in my kingdom that is not love. And so slowly all of the evil got, like, coagulated into a big giant blob as it was making its way out of the kingdom by the power of the creed. Then some little jackass kid saw the big blob of evil and was like, I'll love you. And so all of that evil was going to go into the child. And everybody thought that would be a terrible idea, to have it all concentrated into one kid. So decided that they'd all love it a little.
Was because they listened intently to the sermon every week and had small quibbles. And they discussed their quibbles over lunch right after church. And so I listened to them hear the word of God from the man of God, and, not just kind of let it wash over them like everything he said was true, but they tested the spirits. And sometimes they definitely fell into probably like gossiping or judging. I'm sure, of course they made mistakes and went too far. And they have personality foibles that can get carried away. But all that to say, that was where the kind of perhaps skepticism, healthy or not, was inculcated for me. But obviously you can see how that would be wrapped up in issues of authority, which I don't know, now that I'm thinking about it, does that get back to the kind of, is that why the unconditional trust is connected to the unconditional respect in some weird way? That kind of authority structure. When I was a young man, I kind of thought that all truth was based on authority, because you had to, in order for trust to be, in order for you to hear something and trust it, you had to trust the person that was giving it to you. And the best way to trust somebody is for them to be an authority over you, because you're entrusted to them. On a little play on words, you're entrusted to them, so you trust them. But yeah, now I give a little bit more agency to the individual and a little bit more variety to the human population about how they, behave in those types of relationships. But I think the truth still, I think that there's still a nugget in there that might be helpful for your problem half, which is to say, I don't think you teach a healthy skepticism with something that's not on the same level of importance or truth or reality. You teach that healthy skepticism with the most important things in life, which are, for my family in that context was, the word of God given by the man of God on Sunday. So, yeah.
Howdy, everybody. Afriel here. We hope you're feeling virtually not alone. There we go. Tonight, I would like to talk about how you shouldn't pay too much attention to those who mistake your restraint for weakness. So, let's get this show on the road. So I'll start out by saying I've had a pretty rough week, and I think a lot of people have. The assassination of Charlie Kirk was awful, and the online response from a lot of people on the left made it worse. Yeah. I had a lot of trouble focusing at work. I'm sure a lot of other people did too, because there's a lot there. There's some very deep and impactful implications of an event like that I think a lot of people were being very dismissive of. Although surprisingly not all. You had some standouts, which maybe it was more motivated just by their own desire to save their own hide, but like Cenk Uygur is one that stands out in my memory of like somebody who seems to have been having pretty reasonable takes as far as I'm aware, as far as this stuff goes. Trying to think who else. There have been a couple though, and oh, gosh darn it. Yeah, I think that like even if I don't know at this point, it's even if the person maybe is being dishonest in the way that they're approaching things, and they actually do still believe in political violence as a solution to whatever problems that they're trying to solve. The fact that they're at least willing to publicly say words that contradict that, and even if it is purely out of self-interest, as I suspect may be the case there, that he sees the writing on the wall, and if you have people can assassinate somebody in a public area like that, then he could very well suffer the same fate. So I think that's... But even given that, even if the motivation is primarily that sort of like self-serving, self-preserving instinct, I think that's still in this situation to be commended. And I'm going to focus for a second until I can get a moment to glance back at my notes again. There we go. But yeah, and I'll say more about that as we go through this episode, I'm sure. But the next thing that, like, I don't know, synchronicities are weird, man. We had already been planning to. My wife and I just had our 7th anniversary this past week, and so for sort of an anniversary date, we decided we were going to go see Ace Kink. De-escalating the Boogaloo is almost always in our self-interest, yes. Only not the case if you do not understand how bad a boog will get. Gosh darn it. Oh, I forgot to turn the music back on. I'll do that in a second. Maybe there's no music for this part? Gosh darn it. I got too zoned in on the killing the guy coming from the jar. Ended up getting it by him. Yeah, so my wife and I had our 7th anniversary, and we decided we were going to go have our anniversary date be going to see Demon Slayer in theater, because that just came out. It's a franchise that we've been fans of for quite some time. I actually introduced her to it because I told her that the character Shinobu reminded me of her, because she loves butterflies and is maybe a little deranged. Dang it. Which my wife was puzzled and a little concerned that was the reason for me recommending it to her at first. And then she watched it and she said, oh my gosh, this character is just like me, and she's amazing. So, make of that what you will. It's no fun when you just stand there, dude. Oh. Bye, I guess. Can't even absorb the dude. There we go. Ooh, grubs. I need to free some of you guys anyway. Collector's map. And now I'll be able to find the rest of the grubs that I need to find, so I can finish upgrading my nail. But yeah, so we went to watch the new Demon Slayer movie, and it was very good, and it was synchronously good. I mean, there's a lot of themes from that series that were already going to be applicable. And I think that was just like more what I needed to hear, needed to see. But in particular, spoiler alert if anybody's going to go see it. But there's maybe not spoiler alert part first. So one of the main themes in Demon Slayer is that the main character Tanjiro, he is consistently trying to see the humanity in his opponents, in the demons, which all of his fellow Demon Slayers remark as foolish, because demons don't have any humanity left. That's why they're demons. So why do you care? And it turns out that hurt people is a very true adage. And so you have a lot of instances, and especially through Tanjiro's kindness, where as he is killing or finishing off a particular demon, like, he's not doing it out of malice. He's not doing it out of rage. What he's doing is he is taking out a threat to him and his friends, but he's not doing so because he's not doing it out of anger. And as a consequence, a lot of those demons at the very end of their life end up having sort of like that going into the light experience, but basically them having an experience where they're seeing all the stuff that they went through that caused them to choose to become a demon, or the trauma that they had inflicted on them that made them turn to that as a source of power. It's, I don't know. I think it's important. Is it like weeding the garden? I don't know. I can't do a hard slash and dodge. Gotta do a quick slash. I don't know why I'm actually doing this right now, but because I think, is it saying that the grub is supposed to be like in here, or is like further down? Yeah, because, okay, now spoiler territory. One of the characters, one of the demons, has a bunch of memory flashbacks right as his head gets cut off, but he's not dead yet, and he's trying not to die. And then he has these experiences where he's recovering memories that he had kind of forgotten. Purifying fire of Orthodox hell. Yeah, it might be. And so as he's having this experience, he's remembering, because he wants to be the strongest. Like, that's his motivation. And he's forgotten, like, why that was the case. Like, he doesn't realize that there was something else that was driving that motivation before he became a demon. And that motivation was actually protecting first his father, who was very sick and who he was stealing in order to try and afford the medicine for, and had been caught so many times that the next time that he was going to be caught, it was going to be a death penalty. And so his father, praying that it would save his son, killed himself, hoping that would be enough for his son to seek a way to, like, become a better person, which is kind of dark, but I think understandable in a way. We'll go down this way first. And so after he... There we go. After he loses his father, he is getting into a fight in a neighboring town, and this martial artist guy comes over and is like, I heard there was a big fight going on that I was told I needed to come help break up, but it looks like you've already dispatched them, and you're just a kid, and you took on like 7 adults. That's crazy. I'm gonna take you in, because I can see that you have the tattoos of a criminal, because what they were tattooing stripes on his arm for each theft he was committing. I think it's down below here, because it's saying it's like there, but I don't know how to get down there. And so he takes him in and has the character who becomes a demon take care of his sickly daughter. And he gets to practice kindness and compassion and becomes a better person for it. And he... Well, first the dude's daughter falls in love with him, and then he falls back in love with her. And all's well until a rival dojo that doesn't like the fact that he exists decides that they're, in order to get them off of their property, going to poison their well, because they can't beat the guy in a fair fight, and so they're just going to take whatever they can get. And so they poison his well, and the guy and his daughter die. And so this guy who was going to have nothing and then somehow miraculously found a life to live had that stripped away from him. And so he went over to their dojo and he slaughtered all of them. Every single one. And I think that the response there is maybe not a healthy one, maybe not a good one, but certainly an understandable one. Justified, I'm still kind of out on whether that's justified or not. The frack? How do I get in there? There? Okay. And so after he kills all these people, Mr. Big Bad Evil Guy, Muzan, shows up and basically says, I heard that there was a demon attack, but I didn't order anybody to come and attack here. So I come here and I'm disappointed to realize that it's just a human. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you into a demon, and you're going to serve me. And so that's, I think, one of the important possible paths that not a lot of people are aware of is that if you engage in that sort of vengeance, more often than not what's going to happen is your act of vengeance is going to be co-opted and used for someone else's purposes. That they're going to either see you as a useful asset and take command of you, or something else not great. And so it's not really healthy or helpful to try and engage in that sort of a way. I think I have to go... Do I have to go all the way around in order to get in there? That's annoying. Okay, well... Whatever, we just had to go up for that, so we just have to go up again, and this time I know the way, so it's going to be faster. Yep. If I don't slam my head on spikes 2 times in a row in the same spot, 3 times in a row in the same spot. There we go. yeah, the combination of being reminded of Tanjiro's goodwill, even towards people who are presumed to be so far gone as to be unsalvageable. Because that's the concern, right? Is that, like, is there even a point? Is there even a reason to try and reach across to these people to help them to see the error of their ways? Or is it come to the point where the time for talk has ended, the time for action is now, and it's a time, like, specifically the kind of action which is division, where you are using how people are reacting and what they're saying as a way of cleanly dividing them into camps, because there's some greater conflict on the horizon, and you need to know who you can rely on as an ally and who you're going to potentially have to target as an enemy, which is not a pleasant thought, and not one that I really want to entertain, but definitely one that has been creeping in my head. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't, because I think that the reality that a lot of lefty-leaning people are not understanding is that there were, like, first off, you can try and leverage whatever rhetoric that you want to. Charlie Kirk was a moderate. If you say that he wasn't, that just tells me you are unaware of the more extreme positions on the right. Because there's some deep, dark corners of the internet that I'd rather not talk too much about, but that I do keep my thumb on just to make sure I have the pulse of whatever it is that's going on. Those are radical. Those people are radical. Charlie Kirk was not. I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of his Debate Me Bro style of content. I thought that it was more harmful than helpful as far as trying to help win people over. But apparently that wasn't necessarily the case. There were a lot of people who were positively impacted by his engagement with them, who I think on Seabax's stream with Jordan Hall, Joy had mentioned that she credits Charlie Kirk with a good portion of her own de-radicalization. And so it's one of those... Oh, hello. Regal, you say? Silly, I know. It's clear you're not of high birth, wandering about all dirty and tattered like that. What are you thinking? No doubt this one will meet its demise at the nails of the city's guards. I'll outlive you too, little grub, as I did all the others. Okay. Well, unlucky for you, I have a death wish, but it's not going to be where you think it is. Okay, so that didn't really work. I thought that the grub pins this, right? I don't know. Well, we'll try another one. Try it by the Forgotten Crossroads and see if that one actually has a grub there. Although maybe I go and just check back and see if the... That would require me to remember where that is, though. Where do I have to go for that? Because I'm trying to figure out where the grub father is. Okay. Oh, he's classified as a vendor. Interesting. Yeah, King Station up to Dirtmouth and then out from there. I mean, it would probably help if I switched over to OBS so I can actually see chat, and switch back to Notepad so I can actually see my notes. Da, da, da. Let's do this real quick. And we switch back to OBS, switch back to notes. But yeah, Charlie Kirk is a moderate. He's not somebody who was calling for violence. He's not somebody who was calling for genocides. He's not somebody who was calling for anything crazy. There are people online who are doing that, and the thing that's very frustrating to me is that there are the people who are ignorant of the existence of that don't seem to understand that both the assassination itself and then the online response to that of dancing on the grave and taking gleeful joy and saying things like Trump next, that basically takes anybody who was a lurker trying to see if those folks have anything reasonable to say, and probably being fairly dissuaded by a lot of it, because it gets pretty fucking extreme over there. But then you have a moderate gets assassinated. You are taking everyone who wanted to not be a radical and shoving them in that direction. And there's just a complete and utter lack of any sort of empathy towards the kinds of problems that those people are facing. And it's really frustrating to me. It's really frustrating to me. And I'll be honest, I had some darker thoughts in that aftermath. Not ones that I'm going to articulate. One, because I don't think that would be helpful for the situation. I don't want to give anybody any ideas. Because I don't want somebody to do something bad. I don't want that. I do not want that. If you want corroboration for that, you can ask Slack or Nate about our estuary meeting this past Tuesday, before this all went down, and how what I had to say, like especially in the aftermath of Irina Zurutska's murder, was I don't want anarcho-tyranny, and I don't want the sort of vigilante justice that is going to come about as a consequence of the enabling of anarcho-tyranny. Because the reality is that you can punch somebody in the face a bunch of times, eventually they're going to get fed up with it, and they are not going to care about the legal consequences, because the thing that's at stake is either their life or the lives of vulnerable people of which they are responsible for caring. Like, that's the reality of the situation. And especially when those people get put into a position where they don't have anything left to lose because the people that they are responsible for caring for are taken away from them by force. It's not going to end well. And I don't want that. And it's really fucking frustrating to me that there are so many people who seem to be obliviously aiming in that direction. I want kumbaya. I don't want fighting. I want people to be able to have reasonable disagreements with each other about how to get to things that seemingly everybody wants. And by the way, just as a side note, this is why young people are rejecting things like liberalism and democracy. Is because it is suicidal to give political power over yourself to people who want you dead. And I guarantee you that there are plenty of conservatives who are looking at Charlie Kirk and saying to themselves, that could have been me. That could have been my friend. That could have been my classmate, roommate, father, brother, son. You name it. There we go. Pale aura. So you want to understand how people are thinking about this right now? You want to understand where they're at? They're saying, holy shit, I had views that are similar to Tucker. Or sorry, not Tucker, Charlie. I had views that are similar to him. Or I had views that are maybe even a little more extreme than his. But not ones that I think are terribly unreasonable. And not ones that I think are unempathetic. Just caring for, or wanting to care for people in a way that they don't believe is them being cared for. But yeah. It is suicidal to give political power over to people who, well, to people who want to kill you. And also suicidal to be checking your map when you're in hostile territory and you haven't taken care of all the enemies in it. Where's the pale ore guy? The nailsmith. I'm trying to remember. Am I gonna have to look this up? I might have to look this up. I'm not seeing it. I know it's not Deep Nest. I don't know why I'm looking down there. It's not Royal Waterways. Yeah, I'm looking it up. And I hope I'm striking an okay balance with this, because I don't want to sow division. I don't want to cause problems. I don't want to make it so that people are not talking to each other. But there have been some people with some absolutely ghoulish responses. And I want to act with restraint. I haven't been completely, but I want to act with restraint. Should probably pay attention or move to another part of the map. There we go. And that's actually, yeah, let me talk about that other part. So one of the things that's kind of come up in regards to this is people basically saying it was so much worse in the 70s with all of the political violence that was going on there. Like, you have no right to complain about political violence being brought up. It's like, you know what? Let's take a look at that, actually. Let's take a closer look at that. Because what seems to have happened, as far as I can tell, is that the people who were responsible for those bombings got exactly what they wanted. That they were able to, after they got out of jail, after they got out of prison, go and get professorships and teach at fairly well-known universities for many years, training not just students who are going out into the workforce, but students who then went on to be teachers at other places. And so that's kind of one of the lies that I think people need to wake up to, is that this notion that violence doesn't work. Violence absolutely works. But it also has externalities that make it so that using it produces a world that you're not going to want to be in anymore. And for some people, and this is the really dangerous part, is if you take away everything from somebody, then they might just decide that apoptosis, cell death, where a cell decides to take itself out rather than risking becoming cancerous and infecting the surrounding tissue, is a preferable action. And that they might just decide to try and take as much out with them as possible. And they might care to make sure that that is done carefully. They might not. But that's what you're potentially dealing with. You're potentially dealing with somebody being pushed to their very edge, their very end. And then as a consequence of that, they're it's not good. It's not good. I don't want it. And this is where people are going to be pushed to. And I don't really know what else to do or how else to handle things. Other than to just talk about them, I guess. Like, I think that the effort to get people fired from their jobs for the particularly ghoulish responses, I think that that's actually very much the right answer. That there does need to be severe social consequences, financial consequences for people who are willing to participate in speech that is ostensibly illegal in terms of threats of violence, but for some reason has gone relatively unprosecuted for quite some time. And by the way, same thing goes for the right. Had a conversation with my family earlier this week, and it wasn't directly related, but something that came up was like, yeah, it looks like Trump might have had a stroke, and it's a travesty that the White House is just going to lie through their teeth that he didn't have a stroke. It's like, look, I don't know whether he had a stroke or not. That is absolutely something that would be lied about if he had had a stroke, because he's an egomaniac. He's surrounded himself with sycophants. Like, if he had had a stroke, I would 100% believe that they would lie about it. That being said, I'm not in support of that, like, just continuing in that direction. Like, I don't want that. If he is having health issues, then he does need to step aside. And JD Vance needs to take on the presidency. Like, I don't think that that's probably going to happen unless Trump actually, like, dies, but it's not Queen Station, is it? No. City of Tears. Like, I'm not disagreeing with that. And that's, I think, the other part of it is, like, it's just this, like, oh, you were all just, like, a bunch of, like, Trump rah-rah, like, he can do no wrong. It's like, no. No, I think he absolutely can do wrong. I think he has in a number of cases. But that doesn't detract from, like, you want to say you support democracy, but you don't want to acknowledge the fact that somebody was democratically elected. It's like, at what point do I have to come to the conclusion that you are basically a demon from Freeran, where you don't actually use speech to communicate truth? You're not even trying to do that, that you're literally just using it for deception. Like, I don't want to come to that conclusion. I don't want to believe that that's where a person is at. I want to try and give them the benefit of the doubt as long as possible. I want to do the Tanjiro thing. I want to give people the opportunity, even up until the point of death, to realize that they were wrong, to realize that they were causing the very problems that they were ostensibly seeking to solve. And I'm going to do that for as long as I can. I don't know where my limit is. I don't. I hope that it's... I hope that it doesn't exist. I hope the limit doesn't exist. I hope that I can just always be a good person, no matter what. Unfortunately for me, I've had life experiences that have pointed me to that not being true, or at least that you have to deliberately constrain yourself in ways that make it so that you prevent yourself from engaging in sin if you want to not sin. That you have to see the temptation coming, and you have to, especially for certain temptations, like, you have to figure out a way to get out of the way of that. Maybe I'm saying too much, maybe I'm not saying enough. I really don't know.
Ranjo Stenja.
Oh, I need 4,000.
Don't.
Well, we'll go sell some stuff and then be good to go. Yeah. I'll go ahead and hop in Discord chat. See if Mr. Skankenstein wants to join me or if Ron's going to be willing to hop on and have a chat when he gets out of service. And share screen. And yeah, let's see if we can turn on camera. OBS sometimes messes with data streams of other stuff. Yeah, it doesn't seem to want to. Keep it off. And the other thing that's kind of frustrating with all this too is like, I don't know how any of this is going to land. I don't know if any of this is going to have remotely the desired effect, because there's kind of two things that I gotta finish pizza first. Yep, sounds good. There's kind of two things that I'm trying to do by doing this. One is I want to let people who are on the right know, hey, you don't have to radicalize. There is still hope. There are still people who are trying to achieve productive ends without resorting to violence, that don't want to go all the way in that way. So that they don't feel like they are pushed to join up with like actual far-right organizations, which by the way are probably mostly federal honeypots. So I honestly, like, unless it's a group of guys that you organically met in your local community, it's probably not actually people who you probably should be associating with. They're probably just trying to get you to step over a line so that they can arrest you. So don't do that. But to let those kind of people know that, like, hey, there is hope. It's not, all is not yet lost. Or at least it doesn't have to be. And on the other side, trying to communicate to people who are either in the BoomerCon right or on the left, who just are completely unaware of the actual nature of the situation that they're finding themselves in, and trying to at least, like, even if they don't listen and believe to what I'm saying, that it at least is planting a seed, that it at least is because I've come to realize that you generally can't expect people to believe something that goes against, or like to even be willing to entertain something that goes against their beliefs when they hear it for the first time. And that what you have to be willing to do is just be not the straw that broke the camel's back, but just be one of the straws that gets put on the camel's back, so that when the straw that breaks the camel's back comes along, it actually breaks the camel's back. And you have to be content with that. You have to be okay with that. You've returned. I see you have some pale ore. A rare fine metal that. Give me the ore and some geo for my efforts, and I'll reforge your nail to make it stronger. Sure. As you wish. I'll get to work then.
Garadel Akari.
It's done. The reforging is done. Your nail is much stronger than it used to be, as strong as it could ever be. In only your weapon have I seen such potential. Finally, behold the majesty of a pure nail. To think this moment has come upon me so soon. I must step outside a moment. Broski, where are you going? What are you doing? With a pure nail forged, my work in this lifetime comes to an end. My only remaining desire is to see and feel the nail strike true. I beg you, cut me down. As my final moment in life, I want to taste the blade's exquisite edge. After all this time, all this toil, haven't I earned it? Bro, no, I'm not gonna stab you. I'm not gonna do it. That's crazy talk. We'll come back and check on you. Right? I'll come back and check on you. Yep. But yeah, I genuinely don't think that a lot of people are aware of the levels of not just like radicalization of certain people, but the level of like efforts of radicalization of people. Like there's a lot of stuff going on the internet. There's a lot of people trying to do a lot of shady things. And there's a lot of, in particular, young men, but not just, who are not seeing any other way out. And so I think that the right answer is to try and be there in a way that apparently nobody else is going to be. And try and help them to see that, hey, it's not guaranteed for it to be okay. But, and again, there is power in violence. Yeah, there is a lot of stuff going on the internet, Marcus. Yeah. There is power in violence, but it's not the right answer. Only very, very, very rarely, and pretty much just in the case of genuine defense. Like, that's the one thing, like, I don't think a lot of people understand very well either, is that defensive force is always justified, but because of that, well, and let me reframe that actually. It's not that defensive force is always justified, but commensurate, I think is the word I'm looking for. Defensive force is always justified. Ow. Howdy, Spatch. But the problem with that is that that means that anybody who wants to use force offensively is going to very deliberately mask that offensive force as defensive force. They're either going to try and bait the other person into throwing the first punch, they're going to try and make it look like that the other person started it to other people by getting a sneak attack in that other people don't get to see. Like, this is the whole principle behind deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. Or DARVO for short. I think I have to go up to the resting grounds. Where's the quickest way to Coliseum of Fools? Maybe up from King Station.
Oh.
Howdy, Mr. Skank. How we doing?
Coming in with a very different vibe set, but it's a good day. It's a good day over here. Found a way to turn off Twitter for a while, you know?
That's probably for the best. I probably should do the same and have been having a hard time doing so.
Don't you have a boat to work on?
I do. I actually scrubbed it a little bit before Boats Tour yesterday. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good soul-making exercise.
It is. And then towards the end of it, like half an hour before we were supposed to be done, my wife called me and let me know that one of my chickens had gotten killed and ran off with by a coyote. So that was fun.
I mean, to be fair, a coyote is a worthy opponent.
Yes. And it's a lot better than neighbor dogs getting into the yard and not killing for food, but killing for fun. Because we've had that before too. So.
Yeah, no, I picked up a book in my Southwest travels this summer about coyotes. Just kind of like started it, but like sort of like opening salvo of like what the thing is, sort of like one of those like natural histories slash cultural histories. So it's like talking about like looking at it biologically, ecologically, mythologically, culturally, all this sorts of stuff. And the coyote's a really fascinating creature.
Isn't it?
I mean, the argument that he was like the argument that this guy made that he's going to set up the book to argue is that there's nothing that's more sort of like symbiotically co-evolving with human beings than coyotes. And so there's nothing that's so I don't know. I have a real I know like biological or not biological, but almost like kind of like cultural relationship that we don't even share with like regular dogs.
Yep.
There's the native saying like the only thing smarter than a coyote is God, which that's
It's probably not wrong.
it's yeah, and it's definitely
At least giving other folks a run for their money.
And I was to say I've met some people and well,
The coyote could definitely give them a run for their money.
there was one time where I taught my younger brother to play fetch by not using the word fetch.
Mhm.
And then they're just like, hey, you want to play, like, go and chase the ball that I throw and bring it back to me? We did that for like a dozen rounds. And my older brother was like, do not play fetch with your brother. That's not
That's great. I think the craziest thing about coyotes that I have been made aware of is that they will actually, they'll like make play gestures towards dogs and children to try and lure them into the forest, and then get a pack of fellow coyotes to help them take that prey down. And yeah, it's wild.
big good wolf shit, man. Ugh.
Yeah. So it's one of those like.
Again,
Sorry, go ahead.
so using your smarts for just that's one of those like using your smarts for good versus evil sort of deal.
Yep.
The power that you can wield.
You can be a predator if you want to. This is a PvP server.
I don't have it in me. Oh, kumbaya.
Has my video been frozen? Looks like it is. What's the best way of fixing that? Let's see. Can I switch device? Deactivate, reactivate? Is that gonna work? Because I tried to use Discord's video, and I think that might have killed it. OBS does not play nice with other apps.
Looking for whatever it's worth. You're on your phone's in the pocket now. So
Yeah. How's the Ska Festival been?
incredible.
Yeah. I was surprised to
Yeah,
see
just-
Catch 22 on that list. I didn't realize they were still banned.
Well, that's kind of like this dinky little. Well, it's not anymore, but this dinky little festival that started 15 years ago in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Just I know quickly named themselves an international, and they are just pulling way above their weight. And so, yeah, this festival's been all kind of chaotic because like half of the bands they're pulling were having different kind of like visa issues. So there's been a lot of last second dragging folks left and right, bringing them down.
Gotcha.
But I mean, they got some like killer Japanese bands last year. Just
Japanese ska. That I hadn't thought about that. But
oh,
that,
yeah. I mean, so there's like the staples for like the last like 20 years. Tokyo Ska, Paradise Orchestra. They were here 2 years ago, and then the new ska love of my life, who I saw last year, Hey Smith, just just face milking good.
You'll have to send me some links.
And also the added benefit of that they're not speaking the language. I can listen to them at work.
Are you saying there's other ska songs that you can't listen to at work?
Hey, when you work with kids, you know,
Yeah.
there's some language. But I posted this in the group chat I was in earlier. But one of the things that I think is a credit is sort of like as a, you know, it's an artsy community, so it's overwhelmingly sort of like populated by the liberals and then left and left and left and left of that. And we're 2 days into a 3-day festival, and I haven't heard anybody say anything from the stage about this week's sadness,
That's good.
which I think, I think is a credit. Been plenty of other places that they've been more than happy to mouth off at all this.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's one thing. It's like at this point, I don't even necessarily care too much about what somebody's previous points have been if they have ostensibly been promoting political violence with the sort of Mott and Bailey strategy. If they are willing to come out publicly and say, yeah, no, this wasn't okay, it's like, you know what? You get a pass for it. Like, I'm not gonna... You are not the ones to go after in this instance. Like I mentioned,
I think
Cenk earlier.
Yeah,
Sorry.
one kind of solid apocalyptic line in the sand to draw is: are you pro boogaloo or are you pro de-escalating?
Yep.
That's like everything else we can talk about. That's
Well, even if it is just a self-serving thing of like you don't want to get shot too, and you see the writing on the wall,
it's
if
in
you're
everybody's
willing to say
self-interest
stop it,
de-escalate.
yeah,
Huh?
yeah. I don't know, and I know I shouldn't dwell on it as much as I have been. I know that it's not good, but it's really hard not to.
Yeah. I mean, that's the fine. It's finding conversations. This was important. Kind of been dwelling a lot in voice chat the last couple of days in different discords with that couple folks. Just because they get like having someone hear what you're thinking, and then just voicing that back to you, and just kind of like hearing yourself, and just not just that internal doom scroll navel gazer. But I mean, what, you had 2 estuaries this week? It's pretty good.
You know, Tuesday one was good, and then even though it was interrupted by news of dead chicken, the Friday one was still good.
Yeah.
Because it's been really fun having Andrian bring his nephew along, and then
Oh, is Dan?
Daniel, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably should we? We probably shouldn't use names on public.
Yeah, no, as soon as I said I'm sure.
That's okay. Damn it.
It's alright, it's pretty common.
Yeah. But yeah, no,
At
it's
least-
it's been good having like someone who has not gotten there yet to both kind of see like how the things that we're talking about and thinking about are received by a younger audience that hasn't had all the life experiences that we've had, which is good, I think. And then just being able to have that kind of a positive influence, especially when Andrew can be a little brash sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, at least he's definitely cares. Definitely cares. And cares for the action, which is huge.
Yep.
But yeah, it's gonna be good. As soon as this thing, well, as soon as this thing wraps up, I've got like a couple of days with the family before I fly back on Friday. So it's gonna be a lot of kind of wasting time with each other. To be good.
Time
realized
spent
after our last
enjoyed
trip.
is never time
One-
wasted. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but I also kind of like realized because there's this decent sized family, and I kind of realized kind of like last time we got together, like I just need to be more proactive about like siloing them out for conversations.
So quick
Oh, yeah, it's
deviation.
just, like,
Howdy,
there's, like-
Miles. And then what do you mean by siloing them out for conversations?
It's just I mean, like if we're all just kind of like hanging out as a group of like 12 people, it's the conversation kind of stays the same. It just always follows sort of like the pattern, the repertoire. And if it's just a one-on-one conversation, you can be like, so da 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 da, and actually have a focused kind of topic. And like it's with a lot of people, it's really hard to kind of be the guy who wants to start family business conversations, although we kind of need some. So
Those are
it's,
important. You have to you have to be able to have those conversations at some point.
yeah. That's kind of been one of the sort of like, I think I talked about this the story after my sentence. And one of the things we talked about was sort of like we need to kind of like figure out a way to have like established diplomatic relations.
Yep.
Where it's like, so I would formally like to bring up a vibe killer of a topic. Because yeah, I mean, like family stuff happened, and so we've had some other kind of stuff happen, and there's a discussion of like, okay, so if one person's going through a crisis, how do we set up the phone tree to make sure everyone is notified in appropriate amount of time when bummer things happen? Because you don't want to deal with the like, I should have known 2 months ago, and you're just waiting for the right time, and the right time never came, so it's just what's told like that. So.
Yep.
It's sort of it's one of those weird things where you gotta formalize family relations sometimes for the sake of build like better cultivating those like kind of like informal relationships. At least all the siblings are completely and totally adults now, so you don't have to deal with the like who's ready for this kind of group conversation, who isn't. That's that. I mean, that was a real kind of issue. You know, the family issue where some of the family members affected were 7 at the time, and they're like, "You should have told us." Like, no, we should. You were 7.
Yeah. You're not ready for that yet. It's not your responsibility to handle.
Yep. But again, we kept telling them they were 7 for 5 years. Then it's like, okay, okay, you eventually had a point.
It's a really hard thing to figure out, though. Is like, where is that dividing line? Because when do you start going from the kids' table to the adults' table at Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah, and it's just a complicated thing because one of the things about a large group is the younger ones kind of get a boost up to the adults table in like half of the ways, but not all of the ways. And so it's like, and like for half the topics, like, well, we've not been treating you like a full and total adult. The other half, they just like feel totally infantilized. And, like we think we're being mature with them, and they think we're being immature with them.
Yep.
Because the things we care about are different.
Well, there's
It's just one of those tricky things.
Yep. And there's a degree to which you're trying to be compassionate about it too. You're not trying to keep them in the dark about it. You just
Yeah. I mean, that's I don't know if you watched like Nick and Neil's stream. I think it was Wednesday night.
I haven't finished it, but I did start it at least.
I don't think I finished it either. But
There's too much stuff, man.
I know, but this is definitely like the best of the stuff.
Yeah.
But and let's talk about this with a couple of guys in Chicago about what it means to be a patriarch. You know, that whole being the guy who does what's best for you even when you don't like it or can't see it. and learning to kind of grow into that role.
But Chad's here. Howdy, Chad.
Boy. Honey. No, that Nick is
What's up, guys?
Neil's one. Landing. My favorite.
You're a little quiet, bro.
How's it now?
It's better.
Better. Let's see.
No, you're good. You're good. We hear you.
Okay.
I'm per usual not in the most ideal of conditions. Anyway,
I think what happened was one of the earbuds was still inside of the case and it was not hung up. So it's getting some weird like that. Anyhow, no, I think that Neil and Nick conversation was one of the best I've heard yet, because it touched on something that was deeply important to me that I've not heard expressed, which is like this idea of the shadow patriarchy. That it was like once it was named, it was like, oh yeah, duh, like very, very good and useful.
yeah. What's the in Avatar: The Last Airbender? The group Uncle Iroh's a part of. The White Rose, the White Lotus.
Never watched it.
Yep. White Lotus.
Yeah. But it's it's a great moment near the end of the show where you have the show kind of starts. It's about these young kids who are put into a position too early, and they're responsible for saving the world effectively, and they're trying to grow into that role the entire series. And as they're going along over the course of the three series or whatnot, is they keep kind of collecting teachers and mentors. And there's one point in time near like the very, very end where you discover that some of the old grandfathers have been actively working behind the scenes the entire time, despite the fact that it was dangerous for them to do so, and recognizing they could not act openly, but they're quietly orchestrating and kind of colluding together to preserve and protect the world.
Yeah.
I think when you talk about like meme magic, this should be a thing to start trying to meme into existence. Start memeing our adults into being, well, they're not on Twitter enough to be memed into anything, but
You'd be
they'll
surprised.
figure out ways to like, yeah.
I mean, have you seen the content human centipede back in the day of like 4chan to Reddit to Facebook or whatever?
I didn't see that specifically, but I think was it in the Malice book, Michael Malice?
He might have put it in there, but the gist I think is still applicable. That just because a particular group of people isn't on where the memes are being generated doesn't mean that they're not going to see the memes at some point in the future.
Right. And that's why a lot of folks felt like it's a big win when our vice president knows Curtis Yarvin.
Yep.
He also knows Rod Traer.
Does he?
That's yeah. I'm a little bit more excited about the art of it, but
so I was thinking about this idea of. I often think like the online space, and we this conversation come up a lot in the past. And honestly, I don't have a lot of time. Anne is giving Carolyn a bottle right now, so I have a little time to talk. But I was thinking about the masculine and feminine modes of conflict, and in the feminine, classically, it's what do you call, like reputation, destruction, more like social gunning, things like this. And then masculine is like physical, the threat of physical violence.
dueling.
And, yeah, or just like like well, men could resolve things with a fist fight, but it would actually oftentimes draw them together as close as friends, even at times, which is odd. Um, and so the online space seems to be like a kind of like a feminine way to deal with conflict.
Oh, Ted figured out Twitter makes you gay.
I never used it, so
Okay, yeah, we know. It shows in your bearing, sir.
there's a reason why I'm not on Twitter. Because I don't
Hey,
want to be gay. No, it's because
you
because
knew it
like
intuitively.
I no
I gotta go
because
dark for a
like
little bit. I'll be listening, but I
I'm
keep talking.
I'm a sensitive whiny bitch, and that's why I don't belong on Twitter.
Hey,
But
know yourself and behave accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I think so. It's interesting, like I don't know. I don't know what's seems to. Well, I think okay. How do I say this? I think that's why banter online is the closest thing that we get to do to kind of masculine conflict or friendship. Kind of some of the banter that we do, and I think that the corner stuff has a lot of banter-ish stuff.
I think
Circles.
relationships in Chicago solidified the legitimacy of kind of male banter between us.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Also, howdy, Chris.
One of the best times. Yes, hello, Chris. One of the best times. I loved that Saturday night when we were all sitting around at what was that place called? The Coco or whatever. We're having cigars, and there was like 8 of us all sitting there shooting the shit. That was outstanding. Oh, hang on a minute. Is she getting more? No? Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna bounce.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, Chad.
Oh, toodles.
We had a good moment out on the curb as well, and everyone was. Well, a bunch of people went out to, I think, party at the hotel on the last night of the conference, and I ended up going just back to the Kumbaya house because I'm not much one for large gatherings generally. And then I had invited Mr. Screwtape to come out and say hello and actually have a proper conversation over a pipe because I had asked him to show me how to smoke at the picnic, but hadn't really, I felt like I owed him a conversation from that gesture of goodwill that I hadn't really delivered on. And so I invited him over and we were having a good conversation, and we're joined by some guys who were coming back, and it was also still a good conversation. That was, I think, the really cool part was it wasn't like that anything was really being interrupted. It was just bringing more people into the party, and that's kind of just what it felt like for most of it. Almost all of the Midwest area was that, where it was just like if somebody wants to join in, they're just part of the party. I don't know how much longer I'm going to try this, but I might just do a short stream today. What say you, Chris? Just lurking. You're muted if you are trying to talk.
Very.
There we go.
I was just listening along.
Just what?
I was just listening along.
Move things along? Your mic quality is not great.
No, my mic quality is great. not sure I can fix that. I think I should just jump out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Heal up. Nope. Trip off the edge, because that's what we do around here, apparently. There we go. Attack up. Dang it. No, not the worst. Probably didn't get to heal twice there. Taking way too much damage. There we go. Okay, spiders. Why did it have to be spiders? Oh my goodness. I'm just getting wrecked. Maybe I should have fucking taken thorns, my goodness. Can't time attacks worth the crap. Careful now. Dang it. Maddening. Nope. Yeah, that was Chris Howard. I don't know why his mic wasn't working properly.
Oh, I'm back.
There we go.
Have you gotten Silksong yet?
What's that?
Have you gotten Silksong yet?
No, I have not. Not yet. I am planning to get it and play it probably starting this week, though. How is it good?
2 power-ups and it's starting to get exciting. It's really starting to, you gotta, starting to feel the agility of the character, which you don't get initially. You're so depowered. And so starting to figure out how to work sort of like the, deal with being a much more finesse versus, and it's weird to say, Hollow Knight, but it's a heavier character, but Bruiser compared to Silksong.
Well, I heard that one of the main changes that they made was that pogoing is diagonal, which is really strange to think about, like how that works.
Yeah, I can't kind of imagine what this game's campaign is,
Oh gosh. Your agility test, just to see how well do you understand the controls and the mechanics available to you.
Yeah. But I don't. Oh, I don't remember being too kind of bowled over by the cat as a game. It was sort of like annoying. So with enough kind of health ups, it was just sort of like slowly plotting.
Mm.
I think they were kind of tweaks and more newish gamers like me in at least that they're even of like saving points, checkpoints, stuff like that.
Mm. Yeah, I still have not beaten that stupid thing. Like, if I'm gonna attempt it again, it's gonna be off stream because I've already spent what 3 hours of time trying to beat the dev. So
I don't know if that work. It is required for now. It's a game with multiple endings. Somebody can only get to the best ending.
it's not required for the best ending. It is required for like one lore cutscene, which is relatively minor, but gives some background that you wouldn't otherwise get. So
It's still. Well, I mean, because there's more bad guys than just the knight.
Mhm.
Oh,
the
do
Radiance.
you not meet? Right. Which I have not beaten yet.
Oh, you haven't?
It's
Okay.
well, yeah. I should go back and try now that I've. Like initially, I got it playing on my computer with the keyboard, and that one.
Oh
Was,
no.
Yeah. Yeah. So my whole kind of like play through the game was a very kind of again just a bruising my way through it.
Mhm.
But now I got my Steam Deck and
A proper
my
controller.
Bluetooth. Yeah. Xbox controller to link up to that as well.
Mhm.
It's yeah, I'd like to go back. I only made it through I think one round of the Coliseum also.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think the one point where just the ground completely falls away and there's just nothing but spikes and you have to pogo the entire time. And that's when I was like, nope.
Absolutely not.
Yep. Incorrect. I reject your proposal, sir.
I don't know if I actually played any Metroidvanias before Hollow Knight, because it was kind of funny to me. The first time I played through, I was incredibly bad. Like, it was really a struggle for me to do a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
And then it was kind of fun, because then the next time I came back to it, because I think I played it again before this, like a year or two after I initially played it. And it was like the level of like, oh, this is easy, that I had, at least from for the start, was like, oh, okay. I just didn't know how to play because I hadn't played these kinds of games before.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I've either. I've only played the two GameCube Metroids,
Mm.
Metroid Prime and the Light Dark World one.
Are those 3D or are those 2D?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, those are 3D, so they don't quite count.
No. Yeah,
I mean, I think they're more like Metroidvanias than like Super Mario 64 was like a NES Mario game, but still, yeah, just completely different experience.
Not better or worse necessarily, just different. I'm trying not to die. There we go. Well,
And I mean, like I moved on to the Metroid after like the GameCube Metroids after playing Halo, so it was a little bit more like, okay, this is kind of like a first-person shooter. I can handle this.
I played through because I had been a mouse and keyboard gamer for most of my life leading up to that point, just because parents didn't want game consoles, and so I just hadn't really gotten much experience with a controller. And so I forced myself to play through, or not really forced, but like the way that I kind of was like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to play first-person shooters with a controller was playing through the original Halo. So that was pretty cool. But I haven't really spent too much time or effort in the Halo saga past that. So
You poor Zoomers. Just don't know what to tell you guys. It's
I mean,
golden age, man.
that was
Golden age.
my time period. I just didn't have parents who were willing to oblige. Video games cause violence, don't you know, Skank?
Oh, that's
I think it was less that, well, maybe a little bit of that, as far as, like, we would definitely get amped up from watching certain shows or playing certain games, and my parents were not really thrilled or appreciative of that. But yeah, it's just, I don't know.
No,
The
it's
fact
so
there's-
it's so interesting what kids pick up and the energy they pick up from certain shows.
Yep.
Like I remember some friends of mine saying like they had to stop letting their kids watch Scooby Doo because their
What?
kids were picking up because the kids were picking up like snark towards authority from it.
Yeah.
And there was just like I don't know. And like part of me is like I don't remember that in the old school ones, but I mean that's also a property that's been consistently produced since the 60s.
Yep. Wait, that's a 60s property?
Maybe 70s.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you might be right. That is
They
wild.
they
for me
ride
to
around in a
think about.
psychedelic mystery machine. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's 70s. Like they ride around in like a psychedelic mystery machine. Man. Yeah,
Fred's
it's
totally
the whole
not or Shaggy's totally not a dealer, guys. Totally not a dealer.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just hungry all the time because of their fast metabolism. That's all. It's genetics.
It's one of those things that you think about as an adult. It's like, how much other stuff did they just slip past me because I was a kid and didn't know any better?
Well, you've heard of like the Smurfs are straight up communist propaganda, right?
No, I mean that checks, but like I hadn't heard that before.
Yeah. I mean, look at the visage of Papa. What colors he wear? What's on his face?
Yeah, Karl Marx or
Huh? Yep. And who is the villain? But the guy who's constantly trying to like turn them into gold or something like that, trying to
Gargamel.
monetize their little trying to commodify and monetize their entire existence.
So what do you think about Mr. Miles's take that the kids table just becomes the adult table?
Let me see here.
But that it would be nice if there was some formality to it.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what has happened. It's just, I mean, this is where things like kind of like coming of age rituals are important. It's where you have a set aside limo space to be like, you were one thing, and now you are this new thing. And so I think the whole lack of formality is just our democratic culture. But the typical, like that usually leads to extended adolescence versus enforced maturity.
Well, unless there is a circumstance where the person is forced to grow up as a consequence of whatever their circumstances are, where the people who should be mature in their lives have abandoned them or are not present in the ways that they should be.
Yes. But that's typically a matter of circumstance rather
Yes.
than like active kind of cultural formation.
Yeah, I think Grizz definitely has it right as far as, like, there does need to be an initiation ritual. Maybe not something quite God mask, but something to officially acknowledge that girls have become women and boys have become men. And that even if they're not ready to accept the mantle of the responsibility quite yet, that they're still going to be included so that way they can pick it up when they are ready.
Well, think about when you like start like one of the trades, and like as soon as you like enter into the program, like you are like you're in the process of becoming like a carpenter, but it's still like
There's a long way to go.
for at least a year or two, it's all of the shit jobs are yours,
Yep.
and when the adults are talking, you still listen.
Yep.
Yeah, your opinion does not matter yet. We're going to give you an opinion that matters if you keep paying attention.
Yep. Well, and the thing with that too, it's hard to understand what it is that people are looking at and looking for when you are just coming into the game and nobody's really like. It is so hard to learn how to play games where telling you the rules is against the rules.
Oh, I hate those games. Was it now?
What's that?
Oh, well, it's the one like summer camp card game Mao.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, that's just the nature of most social dynamics, though, because there's things that are just so hazardous to talk about unprompted that you basically have to force people to come into the realization of what those rules of those games are without any assistance.
yeah. I kind of feel like that's the sort of thing where like Mao is like a kid intuiting like what is a fact of life.
Yep.
There's a large realm where you just got to pay attention, pick it up.
Yep. It's really hard for someone. I don't know if it's a spectrum thing or if it's just a me thing, but like that was particularly hard for me. And I think it's okay to tell somebody, hey, there are games where I can't tell you the rules. And that itself is helpful enough to kind of give somebody an indication of where to start, of how to start trying to think about certain things, I don't know. Because it's like, how do you even begin to notice that if you have nothing to grab onto, nothing to start from?
I wonder if that might actually honestly be like Mao might be a good kind of thing to kind of like hand to Spectrum folks.
Yeah.
Just as a way of like letting them know that that there is a world of unspoken rules. Or maybe that's like if you're kind of worried about your kids, sort of a Spectrum shit. You're like, how bothered are they by this game? Maybe we should get them to explore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Because once you have that understanding, and not just like the explicit understanding of that's what's going on, but the implicit understanding of that's what's going on, like so many things fall into place. So many. And it's not that things necessarily get easier right away, but you know to stay quiet and listen and watch and pay attention and not to act brashly until you actually understand what's going on in the game. Oh, Chris is back. Let's see if his mic's fixed.
Hello.
There we go.
Better?
Much better.
I'm almost to where I'm going. I've been driving and I was out on the highway fast. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But we're talking a little bit about what was it? Oh, the Scooby-Doo and they're being hungry and all of these things. There was I was a kid in the 70s and there was this show on Saturday morning called HR Huffin' Stuff. And it never hit me. All you guys mentioned that they were huffing stuff. So see, even though I'm 60 some years old, I'm still being my eyes are being opened here just as I go through the day. So yeah, HR Huffin' Stuff, that was a thing. And it was kind of psychedelic. It was really crazy. So anyway, yeah. I just wanted to throw that in.
Those damn hippies mind controlling the kids.
Yeah, they're everywhere. All right, I've got to go.
The hippies or the hippies mind controlling, or are they trying to be countercultural?
I think that most hippies were unaware of some of the malicious forces that were acting behind their movement that were absolutely trying to achieve mind control in certain cases. like how much of like LSD exposure and whatnot was a consequence of experimental programs that were being carried out by the CIA, and then basically pushing stuff out to people that then just got into the general populace. How many people who were responsible for helping with the testing that was done during MK Ultra used some of the knowledge and experience that they gained from that to then go rogue and do other things in that same vein.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we totally got rid of all those guys out of the government. There's no bad guys in the government anymore. You don't have anything to worry about.
Purely shallow state from here on out.
Mm-hmm. Drugging Johns in prostitute brothel houses, whatever. We would never do that. What would make you think we would do anything even close to that? That doesn't happen. I've really been enjoying watching. Have you heard of Flesh Simulator?
No, and with a name like that, I'm not sure I want to. But I'll let you describe it.
He's a lefty conspiracy theory YouTuber.
Okay.
And like it's wild to me that he has seen all the things that he has and still believes some of the things that he seems to. But he's been a really good source of, like, especially like collated information of like talking about how there was some lieutenant colonel who was out in the Defense Language Institute in California, and how he was like well known to be an active Satanist, and got accused by a whole bunch of kids and parents that he had been assaulting children in his house, and it just magically went away.
Say that one more time. I was tweeting.
There was a Army Lieutenant Colonel in the intelligence agents, and I think he, I don't know if he was DIA or if he was just something else. Yeah, Colonel Aquino. Dispatches got it. Who was a practicing Satanist, practicing theistic Satanist, and got accused by a whole bunch of kids who like identified his house as the one that they went into to be abused. Like, they got taken from a care center, and then yeah, and the whole incident just magically disappeared. It's just nobody talked about it anymore. So, world is a strange place, and it gets stranger the closer you look at it, it seems.
Is that one of those, there's no bottom to anything?
Yeah, but I don't think you necessarily want to go looking for that particular bottom.
Yeah. Oh gosh, one of the things that I'd heard of before, and but let me find this again real quick. It was somebody reposted just a great formulation where refusing to know about things is a valid form of civil disobedience.
Okay.
Ignorance, like exercise, was not regarded as precious in the past because it was always plentiful.
Mm-hmm.
But the nature methods of the cultivation of ignorance are perhaps even more mysterious than those of knowledge. One can't through will forget how to read. At best, one can forget at times to attend. How impressive and magical would it be, though, if one of us was to forget how to read through long effort? apparently illiteracy was a common defense to heresy in the days of the Proto-Reformation. Like, you can print as many Bibles as you like, but if we can't read them, it don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um,
Somebody accuses you of heresy. You say, "I can't read, sir."
I mean, so like the on Wednesday, in some of the group chats I was in, I was kind of touting this horn of just like we don't know enough to even begin speculating yet,
No.
and we've been through lesser versions of this circus before to know we're going to get 1,000 bad and incorrect answers before we can begin. Like by all means, like pay attention to the shape of things, but it's hold everything extremely loosely
Mm-hmm.
because everything's going to change rapidly. So you get
Mm-hmm.
too kind of caught up in your pet theory.
Do you know the origin of the phrase "we did it Reddit"?
No, I don't.
Do you know? Well, you remember the Boston bomber?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Mhm.
So, We Did It Reddit came about as a consequence of a bunch of people on Reddit trying to do detective work in the immediate aftermath of that. And the problem was they got the wrong guy. And
Consistently.
what's that?
Consistently.
Well, no, the just one person who they thought was the guy, and they were like going after him and like trying to figure out who he like where he lived and like how to get the police to get in touch or to arrest him. And what ended up happening was he was not the guy, and he got so much harassment and death threats and other things from that he ended up killing himself. So, leave the investigating to professionals unless you're somebody who is actually a professional.
This is it's one of the things I've been on about, talking about a number of different topics. I think it's really helpful when thinking of things like info hazards. Is sort of this is sort of like the archetype of priestly work. It is work that is supposed to occur behind the veil. There are certain people that are specifically called, and something close to like shamans as well. Like they're called to kind of go into like the dark nether regions and deal with this stuff. And they come at like they do all of their dark, mysterious wizardry work over there, and then they come out of the tent and they give us the benefits of their work. But like what goes on inside the tent is frankly it's just not healthy for the public to know. It's the sort of thing that again it's info hazards. It's and this applies to a lot of areas. I think a lot of like scientific work is priestly work. It's trying to get a buddy of mine who was a funeral director for a while to kind of like because he is dealing with sort of the kind of like not disillusionment or the disenchantment of like seeing all of the steps of what happens to your body after your spirit is gone. And it's just like you look at people differently afterwards.
Yep.
And it's trying to be like you really should. It's like you're a Bible guy too. Like think of like Leviticus. Like you're carrying that tradition on in a real meaningful way. I'm doing some reading on like the nuclear development in Washington right now. That also is, and it was treated as priestly work under the cloak of government secrecy, and rightly so. It's dangerous stuff.
Yes. Dangerous in the wrong hands,
but,
for sure.
And I think that's kind of the problem with. I think maybe detective work is kind of treated kind of like priestly work. They do have their special, like, film noir, trench coats and stuff like that. But I think the problem is cops are not treated as much as a priestly sort of function as they should be. Which is also interesting because the only thing in the Old Testament that could reasonably be called something like a police force is like the Levites, who are charged with like, physically protecting the temple structure. Just because, I mean, just the emotional, psychological toil of doing that kind of work is demanding.
Especially because you're potentially going to have to do some very unpleasant things that, Well, and I think it's stuff that is going to have to be reckoned with by everyone at some point in their future, even if it's not during this life. But I also think that it's really easy to break somebody if you like. I think it was Demir talking with Gavin recently, and one of the things they were talking about was appropriate veiling. And
I missed that one entirely.
Say again?
Let's say I think I missed that one entirely. Was that with Luke?
No. So Jonathan Demir and Joe Cross have been publishing their estuary road trip videos a little bit at a time,
Okay.
and they've only just now
Okay.
gotten to their visit with Gavin. So
Okay.
one of the things that came up with this was this idea of veiling, if that is where it came up, which I think it was, but I might be mistaken. That if you have the divine, if God just showed himself to you without any preparation, without any ability to, like, he'd blind you, he'd kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so this notion, like, veiling isn't just to conceal, it's also to protect that which is not prepared to witness.
Yes. Yes.
But that's really hard to convey to somebody who has not yet seen behind the veil. Because it's like, no, you need to trust me. You do not need to see this yet. You will in the future, and I'll even give you like a timeline of when that's going to happen. But you need to wait. You do not have the prerequisites down yet to be able to handle this without harming yourself or others.
Yeah, it's the Lovecraft thing. It's like certain things will drive you mad if you see them. Yeah, well, I mean, it's the dark inverse of that. It's the dark beatific vision.
Well, and not even like the complete inverse. Like, it can still drive you mad, for sure. But it doesn't have to. You just have to be adequately prepared for it. And if you're not adequately prepared for it, then woe be unto thee.
Right. Well, even like, and then I'm trying to think of like Thomas Aquinas. Like he had a vision, like near the end of his life, and he stopped writing. It's like everything is like shit soiled straw. Every memory up to this point. It's just it's not good enough.
Nope. Which makes you wonder, like, what the vision was there. Oh, hey, Ron.
What's
Didn't
up?
mean to
Howdy,
interrupt you
howdy.
guys. Yeah. Hey, good evening. Well, who are you guys talking about? Sounds like what's on the tip of my tongue? John's apostle?
Aquinas was who we were just talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice game.
Hey, what's up, Ron?
I'm in Ohio visiting family and friends, and just about to crash. I'm like, oh, the guys are on.
Yeah, I'm in Virginia. About to we're slowly catching up with family. Hung out with one sister yesterday. Another one wandered down to hang out a little bit today, and might get a couple more down before I actually leave this town when the music festival ends to go hang out with the family proper.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, although maybe I just gotta trying to, if I can, hop down and hang out with the surf pastor guy, Ross Bird. I know. He DM me. He's in my DMs, guys. He's in my DMs.
Good on you. I don't know him, but it sounds interesting.
I like everything that he is about. Like it's so phenomenal, and like he works in locations that are familiar to me that I know reasonably well as well. So I'm like, oh, he's from where I'm from. I love it. So yeah. If we can make it work, I'd love to get the lay of the land, feel him out for a little bit, and swap, give him some Chicago stories, see if I can convince him to go hang out with the Nashville folks next month.
Hmm. Oh, that does sound. What's his gig?
So his big deal is like, I mean, he's like an Episcopal minister, but that's all kind of built around. He does that like 9 or so months out of the year, and
Mm.
but his main kind of like entrepreneurial thing is like he started this like youth surf camp in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And so like he's like he basically just lives this like insanely intense educational lifestyle for 3 months straight. Where he's just like, yeah, we just get up, crack dawn, and do work with our team of instructors for a little while before letting the kids in, and it's just this really interesting kind of like deeply embodied kind of like physical training.
Hmm.
Well, and mental too. That's I don't think a lot of people know about it, but there's a way of thinking and thinking about and interacting with the world that surfing gives you that you don't really know about until you've experienced it. So, like, I could try and do it
That
justice
sounds
by
fun.
just explaining it, but sorry, I interrupted somebody.
No. I'm listening. I think both of us. I'm tracking with you. I mean, I haven't surfed, but I've skied, and
Well, the thing that you learn from surfing, well, there's a lot of lessons that you learn from surfing, but especially like learning to watch the waves, learning to be patient, learning to figure out how to anticipate when the one that you want to surf is coming, and then how to meld with the water productively in order to catch it and ride it. But
right.
that waiting, and especially like trying to get out from the shore out to the breakers. It's like how do I time when and how and where I'm pushing myself and like taking effort to go as fast as I can versus when I'm just trying to get over and through the waves for a little bit. And like I'm not doing it justice. Like it shapes the way that you're looking at the world in a way that like it's much deeper than any propositional words could convey.
Gotcha.
I mean, to be fair, I think any embodied practice is going to shape your perception. But this seems like a perception shock compared to others.
But just speaking from experience, like that one in particular was significantly more impactful to me than most other ones that I had.
When did you start? Like how old were you when you started?
I was a lifeguard for 5 years, so during the summertime. And it was a beach lifeguarding position, so I was like it was expected that you would go out and you would catch waves so that way you could learn how to operate in the surf. Because otherwise you didn't know what you were doing and you wouldn't be as useful when stuff went down. And like thankfully there's very rarely incidents that occurred, but you need to be able to be relied on to quickly and safely get out beyond the breakers, and then I guess most of the time the thing that you're defending people against is rip currents. So people are hanging out on a sandbar collapses, and then they get pulled out into the ocean, and they are not strong or confident enough swimmers to be able to handle themselves there. And so you have to go out with a flotation device for them to be able to just hang out on for a little while, and then once they are stable, then you have somebody else come out and they ferry them back in. So you need to be able to quickly and safely navigate the surf. You need to be able to kind come back in with somebody else on your board. And then you need to... Yeah, that's the two main things.
Man, I'm gonna have to take up surfing so I could have a better spiritual life. I like that.
Dude, that's a noble tradition. I can think of one guy. Honestly, you want to fucking weave, guys? So there's a guy. Actually, the real fucking weave. So I think there's like a guy, Peter Kreeft, who's like a Calvin College Dutch Calvinism guy, who swam the Tiber, went Catholic, and wrote, amongst other things, a book on sort of like a summary of the big book by Aquinas called the Summa of the Summa. And he also wrote a book about like surfing and spirituality.
That sounds fun.
Yeah,
That sounds quite fun.
Kreeft. But
Yeah.
yeah, we should do a surf trip, Ron. That's fun.
That would be fun. Oh, dude, like, okay, so
Surf
I'm not
estuary?
kidding you. Yeah. Oh, that's
Surf, yes. Yeah,
Now,
I mean, this is already like one of the things I'm starting to spitball is just like we're just gonna go on mini adventures rather than like stand around and talk for 3 days.
Well, you move around, and then when you're in camp, that's when you talk.
This is how we get right into Noah's estuary. You're like, so we need a surf instructor. Like, what? I'll be there yesterday.
A parkour estuary.
oh, wow. Yeah.
You can't just put estuary on the end of every word. It's not how it works.
Yes, we can.
Stop me, Messiah. Try and stop me. Try and stop me. All right, as soon as we find one that doesn't work, and so far,
this is the spitball estuary.
Spitball estuary?
Yeah, that's
Maybe not that one.
well, see, this is one of the happy accidents of having such a quirky word like estuary. Like, how many of the words like finish with "tuary"?
Well, how many words can you portmanteau together with estuary?
Right. Well, it's like you're not going to mix it up with any other words. Yeah, the best we've got is like what the equestrians.
Equestrians. Howdy, Spanish.
Wow. Yeah. Guys, I gotta go sleep, but
Okay.
I'm gonna remember that book, surfing, spiritual aspects of surfing.
Yeah. If I remember, I'll send you a link or something.
I appreciate that. That one sounds fun. All right, fellas, have fun. Have fun. Cause trouble. Don't get caught.
So much trouble, man.
I don't know
I brought my
how much trouble we
gear.
can get
They
into
told me
this.
I brought my gear to this festival. They put me to work in the kids section today. Yes. Today we bore witness to the Scoctopus,
The Scott.
black and white octopus. Beautiful.
Oh my goodness. I'm blaming you for that death skank. That was too funny. The Scoctopus. God bless.
Good night.
Fairly good
Night,
time.
Ron.
We're having a good time, man. I even had to say no to one of the lead singers and his kid because I had to go and catch one of the bands I wanted to catch. And I'm like, all right, I gotta go. So I don't have time to make you anything other than like a sword. But I also don't feel bad because I said no to 15 kids earlier, so I can catch your set. So fair's fair.
Turnabout's fair play.
And he's like, respect. We'll see you tomorrow.
I think I'm gonna give this one more try and then probably call it for tonight.
Yeah, I'm about done too. Gotta turn in here.
Well, you're East Coast time too. You're up, what, 11 p.m.?
Yeah. No, I was waiting in line for pizza after my last show, and so good time. So tune in or listen to while you were yammering and turn on the voice chat right, and I'm just like, my sister turned in, and I had to go do camp chores for a bit.
I mean, do you have any comments or thoughts or We could also just stay away from that topic if.
All I'm going to say is you are recording and distributing this online.
Yep.
Don't forget that.
Yep.
This is about to throw in the chat like, don't Fed post. That's not quite what you're doing.
No.
It's kiss and does most of it.
No Fed posting. Not allowed. Which is why I said, like, yeah, I've had dark thoughts, and we're not going to articulate them because I don't want to encourage people to even think about things in that way. So
Yeah.
but I also don't want to deny that reality of like, yeah, this is how much this affected me to the point that
No. And your monologue, it was a really good, kind of really clear kind of like establishment of kind of like laying down what lines are hardening right now that can't be like that we can't afford to ignore. That was very good.
Well, and that it feels like there are so many people who are either unaware of it or deliberately ignoring it. Like, that's the thing that I find the most frustrating. Like, I don't know which one it is. It's really hard to tell which of those two it is in any given instance. So, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Somebody thanking you for balloon art?
Yes. Our kids don't runner. Colleen. Hopefully. He's probably gonna watch your stream. I think you're fine. Jeez.
And Grizz, I fail so that I may one day succeed.
Son.
Most people hide their failures, and maybe for good reason, but I think it's important to at least have some opportunity for people to realize, oh hey, all the people who I see who are like God mode at certain things, it's only that way because of the fact that they've gone through immense amounts of failure first, and that has allowed them to gain the skills required for them to be good at whatever it is they're doing. But that's next stream's topic, so we're going to hold off on that. What's that?
Are you saying your suffering is redemptive?
It can be. It can also not be redemptive. It can be the sort of suffering where you just die in the same way over and over again and just face roll and don't think about what you're doing, and that's definitely possible. I've done that plenty of times. I've seen other people do that plenty of times.
Like I said earlier, I have not beaten the radius.
Yep. But the thing is, like, you're gonna have to lose to the Radiance a lot of times before you get good enough to be able to beat her. I think that's just the nature of improvement.
Oh, that is one of the great things about Silksong, is the experience of just being lost again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one of the best parts about like starting Hollow Knight blind, was the exploratory aspect of it.
It's so good at it, and they're doing it again, and it's just it's the whole, you're worried that like, can they deliver again the way they did? It's so far like it's such a.
I mean, it took them how many years? They'd better darn well deliver. I say that mostly joking.
No. I mean, here's the thing. When they dropped it for $20, I'm like, everything is forgiven. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it really is just a labor of love for them at this point. Like, I think they made enough money just on Hollow Knight alone that they could have retired if they wanted to. And so it was very much like a, hey guys, do we want to make another game? Yeah, we want to make another game. Okay. We're going to take as much time, and like, I think one of the things that a lot of people were like complaining about it, but it's like, no, developer schedules have been really toxic in video game development for a long time, and the fact that they were willing to say, you know what, we're not going to do that. We're going to just take our time, and we're going to make the game that we want to make. It's going to take as long as it takes, and we're going to work normal work weeks. Like, it's a good thing, and especially for other larger developers and even smaller developers to take note of that and be like, oh hey, We don't have to literally kill ourselves in order to produce something like this. There's a thought. Also, Grizz, it's only an overdeveloped justification engine if you never actually achieve the improvement. If you're a silver scrub for your entire life and you never actually get good, then yeah, you're just delusional. But you also have to, and I know there's a good chance that you're joking too, but I'll respond to it seriously because it is something to keep in mind. Yeah. It's not always just a justification. Sometimes it is the actual reality of the situation. Gosh darn it.
Okay. It is, but they're closed right now. Yeah, are you trying to check into a campsite or something like that? Okay, yeah, there's after hours check-in packets over here. So you might be able to fill that out. Tomorrow's gonna be fun. I think I burned through all of my cartilage for the month yesterday. And today.
Skanking the night away.
Yeah. Thankfully, the schedule's a little bit lighter. Not as invested in everybody playing tomorrow. But yeah, no, it's right. It's right on the beach. So there's a door, or there's a back gate where you just step through the back gate, and you're 50 yards from the ocean. And so after, so like the next to last, there was a break between, one band that I cared about, and the last band I was kind of mostly cared about tonight. So I'm like, going to the beach. So I wandered in. I jumped in, swam around for a while, and I'm just like, I don't think I can walk for a while. That's it.
Just done.
It's over. I'm done. I'm just no longer a land mammal. Sorry, we're straight manatee now. It's like, no, literally, like there's a couple times I stood up and just literally fell right back over in the water. Like, okay, we're not ready yet.
Yeah, don't drown on us, Skank. We like you enough that we would prefer for you not to die.
It was waist deep water. We're okay.
Okay.
It was like sitting on my butt. It was lapping my shoulders. And then stood up and I'm like, oh, whoa, not ready for gravity yet.
Nope. Gosh darn it. Okay. I'm trying really hard not to die because I think this is the end. If I can live. It's at least close to.
What area are you in? You heard spiders. You go through darkness or deepness?
No, this is the Coliseum of Fools. This is the Trial of the Fool, the third one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think with that one, you're the closer you get to the end, the more frustrating it becomes. But you're still very it's all learning things.
Oh, fuck!
Oh, I've been there.
I don't know how close
Still
to the
there. I
end I
haven't beaten
was.
this level yet either.
Yeah. Oh, Brian of College Station popped in. How you doing? Talking about playing video games well with the justification engine. Best one is X, that man lives a full life. Justifying how bad. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, Grizz. I don't think I posted that much to it. I don't really have enough time at work. fibbing to myself with my okayness. It's not getting good with respect to video games as well as music singing. Well, honestly, like, to kind of round out the stream and prep for the subject next week, I don't think that it's really hard to get good at games without having somebody who already knows how to get good at games to kind of like help walk you through it and help teach you how to get good. Like trying to do it from square one by yourself without any guidance whatsoever, it's like trying to learn a language without having somebody to be able to speak it with.
Oh, you see in the chat now.
Oh, you're
I will say, Graham. So some of that is performativefulness. There's a lot of gaps in hollow spaces that are the cost of living the kind of life that I live.
Mm-hmm.
But also, the lads need to know how to touch grass, and I think part of my job is daring you to have half as much fun as I do. Like I, for a long time, have treated like every summer as like a contest to see who can have the most fun, and it's a contest I intend to win every summer.
Wouldn't be a contest if you weren't trying to win, right?
Exactly.
Alright. Well, we'll end the stream there for today, folks. I'll be killing the Radiance next time. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Goodbye then. Be safe, friends. Don't you dare go hollow.
Go hollow. Got it.